Raizin the Roof, presented by the Central Indiana Realtist Association, a local chapter of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Our mission is to build wealth through home ownership by enhancing economic development. We accomplish this goal by informing, advocating, and educating in the communities we serve. And now, Raizin the Roof.
Welcome and thank you for joining us as we're raising the roof. These programs are designed to show you how to build generational wealth through home ownership. I'm Priscilla Russell, your agent with Hustle with United Real Estate, and my co-host is
Dolores Kennedy with broker owner of B&K Real Estate Services.
We are so happy that you joined us today. We've got some exciting news and information for you. Our guest speakers for today are Kelly Margot, the president of Southeast Neighborhood Development, and Josh Peters with Housing Program Manager for the Southeast Neighborhood Development. I can't wait for them to give us all the information that they're going to share with us today. It's going to be an exciting day, so you need to stay tuned for all this information. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back in a few seconds.
And we're back with Raising the Roof. And today we have Kelly Margot and Josh Peters from SND, Southeast Neighborhood Development. Well, they're going to give us a bunch of information about SND. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, both Kelly and Josh.
Okay, well, my name is Kelly Margot. It's very nice to be here. Thank you so much, ladies. Looking forward to the conversation. So I have served in my position at SND since September of 2019, but a long-time volunteer within the Southeast in terms of community development. I am a 15-year resident of Fountain Square, and I started my career in community development affordable housing in 2010. So I've been doing this for a little bit and just excited to be here and have a conversation with you all.
Good, thank you.
And I'm the housing program manager here at SND. I've only been here about 7 or 8 months, but I have a background in real estate. I've had my license for, I think, 17 years, and spend a lot of time working in local government and the property tax world. So excited about what's ahead for me in community development and nonprofit.
Okay, tell us about who's SND.
Okay, absolutely. So SND was incorporated as a 501c in 1983, and we specialize in 3 program areas: affordable housing, which we will be talking about today, economic development, and community building. We serve our boundaries and our catchment area is Southeast Indy. So to the north is Washington, to the east is Emerson, to the south is Troy, excluding the Beech Grove area, and to the west is the east bank of the White River. So it's a population of about 45,000. So our affordable housing program strives to do 3 things: create, maintain, and sustain affordable housing for our residents in Southeast Indy. And our affordable housing program, we are creating new rental as well as home ownership opportunities at an affordable level. We are maintaining affordable housing because we offer a home repair program to our residents. And then we're also sustaining affordable housing because we do have our rental units. So we're sustaining rents, affordable rents and unaffordable rental markets. We also work with a number of different partners across the city to talk about how we can sustain affordable housing at a larger level at a larger scale than just what we're doing here in Southeast Indy.
Well, one of the things you just said that you all do is you're looking at affordable housing for rentals, and
yes.
How is that created, and what are you doing in that case?
Sure. So we have a portfolio of 75 rental units. They're again located in Southeast Indy. Some of them are they're part of a multifamily. Some of them are targeted towards those age 55 and older. Some of them are single family rental units. But that's how we feel that we are, again, maintaining affordable rental, because a lot of these rental units are located in unaffordable rental markets right now in the city. So we feel that we're doing a good service by keeping rents at an affordable rate for folks that aren't quite ready for home ownership.
Well, the other thing with the rental, how do you determine that people can take advantage of that rental situation? Are there limits on income or things like that?
Oh, sure, absolutely. We hope they're not taking advantage. We hope they're not taking advantage. So we have a pretty thorough application process to make sure that they're not taking advantage. But yes, they are all income qualified, and depending upon the unit and sometimes the funding that we are able to create this rental unit determines what income level that they can be at.
Can you tell me the mission of SEND?
Yeah, so essentially we are working to improve the quality of life for a diverse spectrum of residents and business owners within Southeast Indy, and that's what it is. And again, like I said, we do that through our 3 key program areas of affordable housing, economic development, and community building.
Okay.
Well, one of the questions that I had was, what exactly is the HUD Investment Partnerships Program, and how does that help build generational wealth?
Yeah, absolutely. So the program that I work most specifically on is administering funds from the HUD Home Investment Partnerships Program, which is a block grant from the federal government, from Housing and Urban Development, and it helps subsidize the cost of building single-family homes. And so SEND is utilizing those funds to build brand new single-family homes, mostly in a neighborhood called Norwood. And those also have to be income qualified. So in order to be an approved buyer for one of these homes that we're building, you have to be at 80% of the area median income or below, and also still be able to get a mortgage for a home, and a few other kind of financial checks that are done to make sure that your debt to income ratio and your ability to continue to make that mortgage payment is in line with normal lending practices. So in the end, we're able to sell homes for less than they might be on the normal, like on the market, and also to allow people to build generational wealth, because we're listing them usually for what the plans and specs appraisal is created for the list price. And then by the time we get them sold and the person closed, the home is often worth much more than what the plans and specs appraisal indicated. So a recent example we had where the list price and the appraisal at closing, there was a difference of $40,000 or $50,000. So that young family immediately entered the world with some equity and built some generational wealth immediately through this program.
Hi, can you tell me a little bit about the Norwood neighborhood and where that is located?
Absolutely, absolutely. So SEND has been working with Norwood neighbors since for over a decade, well before I started, through quality of life planning efforts. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that, but that is an effort that is initiated by Local Initiative Support Corporation, or LISC, Indianapolis, where neighbors come together from very different neighborhoods, and they talk about quality of life issues. They talk about what is a concern, what is an opportunity, and work together to find solutions. So we've been working with Norwood neighbors for over a decade, and as recently as 2018, we really started to work very closely with neighbors in Norwood on an affordable housing strategy. This is one of the oldest Black neighborhoods within Indianapolis. And it is also a neighborhood that has a 45% housing cost burden rate. Now, what that means, when you say that a household is housing cost burden, that means that a household is spending more than 30% of their income on housing costs. And so we like to keep that obviously below that 30%. And you're talking about a neighborhood that is at 45%. So there's some challenges there. We are working with neighbors, and we've identified 2 blocks in Norwood that are predominantly vacant of any structures, any housing units. And because they are vacant of housing units and they are unoccupied, it becomes a ground for illegal dumping. It becomes a ground for some of the camps that pop up. It's just not good for this neighborhood, who has been disinvested for a number of decades. It's a very strong neighborhood. You've got a lot of advocates there. And as we always say, it is time for Norwood. It is time for the city. It is time for folks to pay attention to this neighborhood and bring some investment to and stabilize the housing. So that's the work that we are doing there alongside the Norwood neighbors. And like I said, predominantly along these two vacant blocks. So in 22, we are going to be working with neighbors and through HUD funding, as well as another source, working with Indianapolis Neighborhood Housing Partnership, or INHP. We'll get to that in a minute. 6 homes, right? 6 homes in Norwood, which is great. And then we will be continuing our work and trying to stabilize housing and creating new housing opportunities. The beautiful thing about this Norwood neighborhood too, it's a generational neighborhood as well. So when we talk to the family there, we're talking about also bringing back maybe some nieces and nephews and cousins and being able to provide affordable housing opportunities and get the families back together again, because it's just amazing when you get to know the neighbors there. It's very family focused. You're talking about generations of families that have been there for decades and whatnot. So we're very excited about the work that we're doing there, and we're just very, very committed to working alongside the neighbors.
Well, that's an excellent view of everything that's going on, and I'm glad that you mentioned INHP, so I'll be glad to hear how they incorporate it into your group, because we've been working with them as realtors. I have over 26 years. I'm one of the presenters for the home buyer seminar there. So we have,
great. Well,
yeah,
there you go.
so I've been doing that for many, many years. So I know in INHP with Trevor Meeks and some of the other guys there, they're really efficient at getting things done. So we're going to be expecting some more information on that when we come back. We're going to take a little break here in about a minute, but I just wanted to say that because I just think it's a wonderful thing, and especially when you're talking about those blocks that need to be taken care of, and in order for you to be able to put up new homes that are also affordable for people in the neighborhoods, so that our cousins can move on back and we can all hang out at the same place. Mm-hmm. And that's not too far from Fountain Square, so down south. So it would make a wonderful neighborhood for that. So we're going to take a break here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to continue our conversation with Kelly Margot and John Peters of SIN, the Southeast Neighborhood Development Program down there, and we will get some additional information so we can tell you how to get that new home and also to how to get the rentals that are affordable. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Shelley Specchio, CEO of Mybor Realtor Association. We support the mission of the Central Indiana Realtist Association to improve the quality of life for the underserved and enhance the economic development for the community. At Mybor, our leadership in economic and community development efforts directly impact the strength of our communities and promote the importance of homeownership for all. Learn more about how realtors strengthen our communities at mybor.com.
And we're back with Kelly Margot and Josh Peters from SIN, Southeast Neighborhood Development, and they're going to give us some information on their project that they have on the southeast side. One of the things we were talking about before we left, we were talking about the Norwood neighborhood. What is that? Where exactly is Norwood?
Sure. So it is east along Prospect. You all might be familiar with a little project going on in Southeast Indy called the Community Justice Campus, just a small.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So if you're going east from the Community Justice Campus, not even a quarter of a mile, you're going to be in the Norwood neighborhood. So it's just east along Prospect. But if you hit Emerson, you've gone too far. So so we've been, like I said, we've been working there for over a decade with neighbors. And I just wanted to make mention too that when SIN looks at, and we look at this affordable housing program, we're not looking at just housing. We look at the infrastructure around it. We look at what, because it is our goal to enhance the quality of life. So what is it that is going to enhance the quality of life for these neighbors, whether that's there's a park facility right now in Norwood that needs some improvements. So we're looking at how do we improve the park facilities, looking at the infrastructure around these new homes that we build. You can have a beautiful new home, but if you don't have any sidewalks in front of it, it ain't going to do you much good, right? So We look at the infrastructure surrounding the homes as well. So it's really a full. The housing is so important, but that's not all that we look at when we do this work. So, so we're just really, really excited to be working with that neighborhood.
Well, my question is that you talked about HUD funding some of the homes for SEND. So are all the homes that are being built funded by HUD, and how does that all work?
So there are a lot of different ways that nonprofits can try to create affordable housing, and that program through HUD, the Home Investments Partnership Program, is just one way. We have partners in a lot of different areas, and one of them is also INHP. And the Indianapolis Neighborhood Housing Partnership, they have a lot of resources for buyers. They have home buyer counseling. They have credit repair programs. They have all kinds of counseling for anybody who's looking to figure out how to get to the point where they can purchase a home. They also do some mortgages themselves. And they work with us in another capacity, also administering another federal grant that is really administered through their organization, which are the new market tax credits. And those new market tax credits are actually administered by, I think, the Department of Treasury, so a different federal agency. And those tax credits allow, again, a subsidy and some money for organizations to build affordable housing. And so we're in partnership with them to do anywhere between 3 and 6 new builds through that new market tax credit program over the next year or two. So INHP is an incredibly important partner in everything we do. In addition to the other partners we have, lenders and realtors who reflect the diversity of our catchment area and who are bilingual and can speak to buyers of all languages. We take that stuff very seriously. If you look at our website, all of our forms can be submitted in English and Spanish, and we'll always be able to create a conversation and provide the language services required so that everybody can access these programs, no matter which partner we're working with.
So if you have someone that's interested in a home in your area, should they contact you, SEND, Southeast Neighborhood Development, or should we contact INHP? How do you guys get together?
I mean, when it comes to the actual housing, we are the front-facing organization who's managing the rental properties, who is developing and building the single-family homes. And so to go through and purchase one of our homes, whether it's being built through the HUD program or the Department of Treasury program, is all kind of, the hub of that would be our website, is really the place to begin. And that's www.sendcdc.org. And so there you can find out information about our affordable rentals. You can apply for the housing program. You can, pretty soon we're going to have the floor plans and the addresses of where those new homes are going to be built. And if you just have questions, I'm happy for people to just email me directly. You can just email me at josh@sendcdc.org. And even if it's not in my wheelhouse as far as what I do at this organization, I will connect anybody with the correct person within SEND to make sure that we're, helping everybody with inside our catchment area or outside find affordable housing in the southeast side of Indianapolis.
Now, Josh, I'd like to know, when you were at a meeting that I was on last week, and you were talking about leaving to go take care of a home that we were looking at. What was that kind of process that was taking place that day? I'm a little nosy.
So that day, was leading over a little bit from, my main responsibility really is working on these federal programs to build single-family homes. But we do a lot of different things here at SEND and try to create affordable housing in a lot of different ways. And so the project I was actually going to look at was a home that is potentially for us to purchase, rehabilitate, and turn into an affordable rental. So I was meeting Kelly out at a property on Rural to get an estimate on what it would cost to get it fixed up and back into the type of repair that would be required and what we would expect in order to put people into an affordable rental. So we'll see how that project goes. It's ongoing.
So we have the Renew Indianapolis, previously the Land Bank, is where we are looking for a lot of the properties within our catchment area, because we're pretty determined and passionate about ensuring that if it's not SEND acquiring these properties, that an affordable developer like, say, Habitat for Humanity, say INHP, is is acquiring those properties through Renew Indianapolis, because if it's not us or an affordable housing developer, it's some private developer that's just going to come in and they're going to rehabilitate the property and sell it at above what an affordable listing price would be. And that's not good for a lot of our neighbors. We've seen that happen throughout several neighborhoods within Indianapolis where the private market comes in and then it becomes an unaffordable housing market. And there's some of the neighborhoods within our catchment area that we can't do work in anymore because it's too expensive right now. So especially in the Twin Air area, especially with Norwood, we are really trying to protect affordability and preserve affordability as much as we can.
Now, what about homes that people are living in now that they already own their homes? How do they go about sustaining? Do you offer any services to help them sustain their residence in the Southeast area?
Sure. So we do have, from a repair perspective, if something happens to the home, we do have a home repair program that individuals can get connected also via our website and learn more about. I will offer, we don't have enough time, ladies, to talk about it. There's a lot of conversation going on across the city in terms of families who have been in neighborhoods for quite some time where the private development has come in and folks are seeing a significant increase in their property taxes, right? And so sometimes that increase can actually very, very, it can be very burdensome for households and such. And that's really where also sin comes into play too, is that because we work with partners throughout the city and we try to advocate with our local elected officials as well as our state elected officials to see what can be done, what sort of policies can we put out there, where are the conversations so that families aren't getting pushed out. And that's a really, really important thing because it's happening across the city and it's a concern. So it's just not, it's a lot of work, but, and a lot of that has to happen at the state level.
I would also add a shout out to an organization we work really closely with, Southeast Community Services. I mean, they really help allow us to partner with them to create a lot of wraparound service and support, whether it's job training or financial literacy, things like that. That organization is doing an incredible job to help us provide even more services to people in this area through their programs, their standalone programs. They're doing so much for this community. And by partnering with them, we can send people their way and they can get help on a lot of different areas.
When someone fills out an initial intake form with us that goes to Josh, we have them because we actually do feel it's not just about housing, it's about basic needs, all right? So we actually are communicating with people coming through our housing program, say, what else are concerns of you? Is it childcare? Is it employment? Is it something else? Is it healthcare? Is it food access? And so we really do look at this as as Josh mentioned, as wraparound services, because we know it's not just about housing. We know that by providing this person an opportunity for an affordable housing, that may not be all that they need. There may be more. And so we really, our work with these individuals doesn't end when we hand over a key right? So that's just, we don't look at it as that's where the relationship is.
Okay, we're getting a little short on time, but has there been any focus on food deserts in that area?
Yes.
Taking care of that?
Yes, there has. The Twin Air area is not considered a food desert, but many of our neighborhoods adjacent to us here in Twin Air are considered to be part of a food desert. I also want to give a shout out to LISP, whom I mentioned earlier. There is also a citywide effort going on. It's Equitable Food Access Initiative. There's a lot of different partners at the table talking about this because too many of our neighborhoods within Indianapolis, the food desert, which means that people don't have access. They don't have access to it. They can't get access. You think about some of our elderly that may not have transportation to get to it, or there's just a complete absence of food available. And don't get me started when people talk about Dollar General and Family Dollar being considered a food store.
Okay, well, the one thing that I really have enjoyed you talking about is the fact that you got your wraparound when you're talking. It's just not selling the person the home. The fact that you interview them in your intake form, you're going to be asking them, what other needs do they have? Because owning a home for the first time is already a major thing. So we've got about 30 seconds for you to wrap up this session. Anything else that you would like to tell us, because this is exciting?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, number one, I just want to thank you all for having us. I mean, CIRA and what you're doing on this program, I think is really important. You know, I recently read a fair housing report that said Black home ownership is down 20% over the last 10 years. There's a lot of really important work to do in our catchment area, our neighborhoods, and across this city. And so I think what you're doing is really important, and we really appreciate being given a platform to talk about what we're doing as well.
Okay, we want to thank you for taking your time out today, Kelly and Josh, and the information that we got was wonderful. Thank you for raising the roof here and giving us all the information to help others.
We'll have to have you back.
Okay, all righty.
Thank
you
you
so much.
Yes, we'll be right back.
Bye. Hello, my name is Dolores Kennedy, broker owner of B&K Real Estate Services. I have over 25 years of experience. My mission is to make buying or selling your home an experience, not a headache. Call me at 317-710-3107.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Russell, your agent with Hustle with United Real Estate. I have over 30 years experience helping buyers and sellers to build wealth through real estate. Call me at 317-872-SELL.
And we're back with Raising the Roof. We had Kelly Margot and Josh Peters from SEND, Southeast Neighborhood Development. Great information.
It really was. I am so happy to hear that they're looking at the total person and not just help you get into a home, because things can happen when you've never owned a home that could cause problems if you haven't been trained on how to go forward. And the fact that they have rentals now in that area that are at least non-market rate, off-market rates, because some of the rentals that are going up now are so expensive that so many of our clients and customers can't afford the new rentals. But we just thank them. There was a lot of information they gave today. We're going to have to get them back here, and so we can talk about some of the homes that they're going to be building, especially the new homes at a price that is affordable.
Yeah, and that neighborhood that they're focusing on, Norwood, that they're wanting to go in, I think they're trying to get 6 new homes there. So we're looking forward to hearing more from them. We thank you for joining us today at Raising the Roof, bringing you information you can use on generational wealth, building generational wealth in our neighborhoods. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
On the first Wednesday of every month, realtors and real estate professionals are invited to our CIRA meeting, which is at 11:30. For information on attending the meeting, please go to our website at www.cira.org for meeting information. Thank you.
Raizin the Roof.